All right, let's get started. All right, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. This morning, we're going to do some strategic training. I think a lot of people, they're out there and they're bringing in people, but I want to make sure you guys really, really understand the comp. I want to make sure you understand this binary and how to drive volume. So I'm going to go over it because I think there's still some people that aren't really clear on how that works. So, and we want to kind of put together a plan for you guys. And then Jeff's going to finish up the call. So first of all, I'm just going to kind of write up here and go through some things with you. Okay, everybody knows that when someone comes in the business, we're all just consumers. In order to get involved, we just buy something. That's the end of the day. Everybody buys something, and that allows them to start earning in the compensation plan. So if someone buys one Hilo, which is $319, okay, that equals 100 points. Okay, so I'm going to make this line across the board. Okay, so $319 is the cost. I'm going to write cost of the product. And when I write points, points are what are associated with that product. That's what we get paid on. That's called SV, sales volume. That's what lives in the binary. Okay, if someone buys the next package up, which is $1329, the points that live in the binary are 500 points, right? Now the BioZen package, let's talk about and then the top package is called the premium package. That cost is $19.99, and then the points that live in the binary are 750 bucks. Then we have our BioZen package. The BioZen basic package is $450. Okay, that's where you buy 10 and get 2 free, or 8 and get 2 free. That's the basic package, excuse me. I don't have my notes with me. And you get 100 points. And then you got the top BioZen package. That's $1350. $1350, and that's equal to 500 points. Okay, so these are the packages. This is what people pay. This is what we get paid on. Okay, so having said that, we really want to talk about, how to tell people what to do, how to give people direction, how to get people started right, and really how to build fast. Okay, because first of all, associated with this, you get what's called a fast start bonus. Okay, fast start bonuses work like this, and this is how I go through the comp with people. Whenever you bring someone in, you're going to make a commission. It's called a fast start bonus, and you're going to make 10% of the sales. Very, very simple on what you personally do. Okay, let me back up here. One more thing I want to point out. And when everybody gets on the loyalty and reward program, that's $59, and 30 points lives in the binary. Okay, so this happens immediately on top of what anybody does when they get started. Okay, everybody knows that. Okay, so let's talk about fast start bonuses. If someone starts for $319, fast start bonus on this one is 32 bucks. Excuse me, get rid of that 0, 32. If someone starts for $1329, fast start bonus on this is $139. That's what you're making. If someone starts for $19.99, you're making 200 bucks. If someone starts for $450, you're making, what's the fast start on that?
What?
The package for BioZen. 45 bucks. If anybody wants to correct me on that. $13.50, we know the fast start bonus on this one is $135. And whenever you sign somebody up on the loyalty, now this is very key, okay, this package right here, okay, you're going to make a $6 fast start bonus. And they're going to pay this every month. So you're gonna get this $6 every month, not just one time, every time, okay? So now that you guys have all this down, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna clear my drawings. So I'm gonna kind of put it out there, and I'm gonna get you guys to think here, because when you get people started, where should they start? Okay, you know, it's almost like you say, okay, these are the packages, and which one works for you, and which one can you afford to do? I want everybody to start really thinking differently, starting with number one, telling people what to do. And Jeff's gonna finish up really talking about that. But before he does that, I want to really kind of draw out the numbers here. If someone starts for $19.99, okay, I'm gonna put that up here, $19.99. That gives 750 points in the binary. If they add on the Biozen, is there any reason why they wouldn't do that? Okay, $13.50, you got another 500 points that lives in the binary. And then of course they have their loyalty and reward program, which is $59. That's another 30 points. Or actually, excuse me, when they buy the package, the company gives them 50 points, gives them 50 points. You get 50 points when somebody signs up on the time they enroll. So if you look at this, you guys, the total cost here for somebody to get started, if they bought the top package with the top Biozen, is $13.50. 3408. Thank you. Okay, 3408. I want you guys to remember that number. The points associated with that are gonna live in the binary are $1,300. 1,300 points, excuse me. So 34, let me get rid of that little mark. 3408 is the cost, $1,300 is the points, all right? Now, if we look at that and somebody were to get started, what do we tell everybody to do, you guys, as soon as they get somebody started? We want them to get somebody on their right and somebody on their left. Now, what if, right? Now we're kind of like saying, let's draw out the best case scenario here. What if that person got somebody to do the exact same thing? Okay? And I'm not going to draw this whole thing out. I'm just going to draw the bottom line. In other words, that person that they brought in bought the premium pack with the Biozen, that would be 3408. And wouldn't that be 1,300 points? And what if on the other side you brought the same person in, and what if they did the exact same thing? And I just want you guys to start thinking about points. Think in terms of points. And it's not about overinflating the price. We're going to talk about that. It's about getting someone started right. You just put 1,300 points on your right with one person, and 1,300 points on your left. Right, left, okay? What does that mean to you in dollars? Okay, I want you guys, again, to understand your compensation plan. What do you need to earn 20% in the compensation plan? In the binary, you need at least 450 personal on the right and 450 personal on the left. Well, didn't you exceed that? Of course you did. You did 1,300 and 1,300. Well, now you're going to get to earn 20% in the binary. So let's go through that, you guys. I mean, if you think about it, 20% of 1,300. Where's my thing? Is $260. So you just made $260 in the binary. But what else did you make, you guys? Remember that person, this 3408, it breaks down to a $19.99 deal, a $13.50 deal, and $59 in loyalty. In fast start bonuses, you're going to make $200 on the 19 on each person, because you're going to make it here and you're going to make it here. So 200 and 200, right, on this $19.99. That's the fast start bonus. We went over that earlier. On the $13.50, you're going to make $135, right? $135. And then on the loyalty and reward program, what are you going to make on that $50? You're going to make $6 and $6. So I want you guys to think here, and we're kind of going like high end, but on this person, the person that did 3408, you're making $682, or actually 200 plus 135 plus 6 times 2. You're making $682 in fast start bonuses, plus your $260. On 2 people, getting 2 people started, right? Okay, we're going to talk about that, right? You just made $942. $942. Think about that. Now, we're going to talk about some numbers. We're going to talk about structure. But let me ask you something. If you were giving someone direction and you were telling somebody what they needed to do to start their business, would this be an out there suggestion? To buy a premium pack and get 6 brand new, beautiful, new Hilo LXs, and a pack of the bands, not the bands, and 6 Hilo bands, and then a high pack of the Biozen, 1350, that you could have with you, that you could put on every electronic device, that you literally could be just selling these to people when you're at networking events. If you care about your family and friends, would you want them to have the Biozen on all their cell phones and all their electronic devices? No, it wouldn't be. You guys, we're starting a business. Everybody here in this room, we're all business owners. Jeff's going to talk about this, but 3408 to start a business, right? You're making $942 getting 2 people started correctly. $942 to get them started correctly. So I'm just going through the numbers right now, and I'm going to bring Jeff up. But before I do that, let's talk about what that looks like if you duplicated it down, okay? Because if this is you at the top and you did that, I'm just going to write 1,300. 1,300, you guys, 1,300 points. I want you to make this note to the side. That equals a premium pack in points. That equals the top package in the Biozen. I'm just going to write Biozen, top package, bio, and it equals the loyalty. Okay? You duplicate that down. You get your first right, and you get your first left. Now, what do people do? They do what you do. Now, in a perfect world, we know it's not going to work perfectly, but some are going to start at the top because you told them to. You told them this is what they need to do. I was having a conversation with my good friend Dan Mays yesterday, and he said that when he sat down with Joel Peterson and his sponsor, they were telling him he had just gotten done selling his restaurant that he put hundreds and thousands of dollars into and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they went through the compensation plan. And back in the day, when we got started in network marketing, the top package was $40,000. And we were laughing about it. We were talking about it. Dan said when they were going through the compensation plan, an opportunity to earn millions, they drew it all out and they said, now this is what, and Dan goes, okay, what is this going to cost me? And they said $40,000. And he said, is that all? You guys, we got to start thinking correctly. We're talking about an opportunity right over here to get set up correctly with everything you need for 3408. And the points associated with it are $1,300, okay? Now, if we do that right, Not everybody, but what if in a perfect world, the next person you brought in did the same thing? Because remember, what do we teach? Get one on the right, one on the left, and then you're going to help them get one on the right, one on the left. So this person gets one on the right, one on the left, and does exactly what you taught him to do. Look at the numbers, you guys. Look at the points. Instead of putting $100 points in your binary because someone bought a Hilo, $100 points, how do you think we're going to get to our goal faster? How do you think you all are going to get to presidential millionaire faster? Bringing in people who do one single? Singles should not even be allowed. It should just be, listen, the only way you could buy a single is if you're just going to be a consumer and you're not going to build a business and you're not going to get on loyalty. That should be the new rule, because how could you build a business with one Hilo on your wrist? Okay, and again, we're going to go through some more stuff here. But what if in a perfect world, we're talking about the 557, you get started by your premier pack. You get started, sponsor 2 people, one right, one left. Step 3, you help them sponsor 2 people, one right, one left. Look at the volume. Now, what is the 4th step? Sponsor 4 more people down your right or your left leg. See how I'm doing this? Just going to put 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. So what happens is in a binary, you guys, when you get started, the next person you bring in just drops to the next leg. The next person you bring in drops to the next spot. The next person you bring in drops to the next spot. So look at this leg all of a sudden. Now you're building what we call a nice fat power leg, because you're building out that left side leg. And then you turn around, step 4, and you're doing the same thing. 1,300, 4 times, 1, 2, 3, right? So 1,300, 1 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. What do they say? Get 5 on your right, 5 on your left. Now, again, not everybody's going to do exactly this. They're going to say, okay, I can't do the pre-min and the biozen, but you know what? I could do the family pack and the top biozen. Or I could do the family pack and buy the $450 biozen. Now, all of a sudden, everybody just assumes they need to get the biozen with their pack. You just increased your volume. You just doubled your volume. It's kind of like McDonald's. If they have one hamburger, but then they have the filet of fish, and then they have the chicken sandwich, and now they offer breakfast, all you're doing is recycling your consumer base. You're giving people more products to buy. If we're dropping in a product called Biozen and nobody's adding that to the order, my question is, why? Why do you have it? Why do we have it? Why is it even on the shopping cart if we're not adding it to everybody's order? And I know everybody here understands the importance of it, right? So now look at these numbers. And this is where it gets fun, you guys. I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna stop at these 2 people getting 2 and these 2 people getting 2 and these 2 people getting 2. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. 6 people at 1,300. That's $7,800 on both sides. What does it take to go diamond, you guys? $10,000 in matching volume. So you get this person to get their 2 and this person to get their 2. So we add another now you're at, well, excuse me, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 times 1,300. I'm sorry. So we got 11,700 on both sides. Excuse me. Do you see how fast you go diamond? Just with your own personal production of doing the 5, 5, 7, the first 5, you just went diamond. You went diamond based on you getting 2, helping those people get 2, and you getting 4 more on your right, 4 more on your left, and out of those people, only one person gets 2. You actually overshot Diamond. It's $10,000 in matching volume. Now in a binary, again, just training, what's 20%? What's 11,700 times 20%? You just made 2340 in the dual team. 2340 in the dual team. And every time you sponsor someone personally for $1,300, what do you make? You make fast start bonuses. Your fast start bonus on each and every person that starts for $1,300 is $341. You guys just do the math. $341 times 5 and 5 is 10, times 10, that's $34.10 in fast start bonuses. And then we already talked about what you make in the binary. That's 20% of 11.7 plus. You're up to 58, almost $6,000 in profit just structuring your business. So I'm going to turn the call over to Jeff, you guys. But before I do that, think about those first 2 spots. If I had my daughter Jessie and my daughter Jenna, would I have any problem from a business standpoint buying those packages, the top package, to get that inventory? How much inventory? How many there's 6 helos in a premium pack. So if you buy 3 of them, there's 18. Now, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, which is sponsor 5 on the right and 5 on the left, that's 10 people. If they're married, I could give them each 2 helos. And while they're waiting for theirs, they could give me back their 2 brand new when they get theirs. You need the inventory. Just in building your multi-million-dollar company, if you're loaning out the product and you're bringing in 8 to 10 people a month, you need those loaners so that you can put them out, bring them back, bring them out, bring them back. So I'm going to turn the call over to Jeff, you guys. I wanted to start with the numbers, and then he's going to take it from here. Okay. Come on, honey.
Oh, my wife. She's so pretty. Just love you, baby. Okay. Oh, hey guys. Hi, everybody. Okay, hang on one second. I need glasses. I want to make sure we got something. Hi, Lisa. It does not have to be personal points to get to 450. So if someone if someone brings in 100 and they bring on a family pack, it would count toward 450.
It has to be personal.
It has to be personal, Terry. Lisa, it does not have to be personal points to get to 450.
It does.
Yes, it does.
You personally have to be responsible for 450 points on the right and 450 points on the left. So
who is that? Is that Terry?
That's a different. It says it does not have to be personal points to get 450. If someone brings in 100 and they bring on a family pack, it would count. Nope. So you have to bring in, if you brought in a single person who bought one helo, that's 100 points. In order to hit 450, you'd have to bring in 4 more singles on the right and 4 more singles on the left. It has to be personal. All right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I go through that every meeting. I mean, that's for sure. It has to be personal points. Kind of, okay. All right, so guys, I want to take a different direction. Obviously, the whole idea is this. This is a mindset that I want everybody to have. And when you look at the business you're building, you got to remember that this is the rule. People will do what you do. And what you do is your confidence level. And if your confidence level is such where you start it with a single pack, that's what you're going to tell other people to do. Okay, and so you got to understand, when we talk about duplication, we're not just talking about duplicating all the right things. We're talking about also duplication happens when you teach people the wrong things. Now, I'm not saying that someone who buys a single pack is the wrong thing. What I'm saying is this: you have to know what the right package is. You got to give people the information. Okay, that's what you are. You're an information giver. And I know one thing. If you put a value on this business and you understand the magnitude, I've talked about this in probably 4 out of 5 of my trainings. If you put a value on it, okay, just like, I'll just use the example Joel Peterson did with Dan. Okay, there was a value put on this. Do you know that Dan could have started for $3,000? Sure, he could have. And if that person, Terry is correct. Okay, guys, we'll discuss it later, but you're not correct. Okay, it has to be done through personal production. In order to get to team developer, okay, I'm sorry, in order to get to your level, 20%, the points accumulate. The points accumulate over any length of time, but the points have to be done through personal production. If there's one thing I'm sure about, is exactly that. Okay, so if I bring in Bill, he does a single pack, and Bill brings in Mary. That's Bill's 100 points, not mine. It has to be done through personal production. So we could talk about that later. Okay, so where was I going with that? Okay, so now Dan could have started for $3,000, but the person who brought Dan in understood the value of what he was offering Dan. Now, do you know the value then increased to $600,000? Let me tell you why. I want you guys to understand what happened. The value when Dan got involved with at that company, the most you could start with was $40,000, because there was people only making so much money. Right? I think the top person at that point was making $40,000 a month. But then when people started to make $150,000 a month, the value of the opportunity went up. And then, people would start for $600,000. We would present, by the way, $600,000 deals. And you say, well, that's crazy. No. If you qualify your buyer, a sale is a sale is a sale. Okay, it's the same sale, right? Whether you're selling a Pinto or whether you're selling a Rolls Royce, a sale is a sale. But you got to put the value on what you're selling. So that's why when McDonald's hamburgers, the McDonald's franchise, when he first started, he had to give away the first 3. But now what's the value of McDonald's franchise? $1.4 million. Okay, so now, getting your mind that way, what's the value? What's the value if we know without a doubt, without making income claims, okay? If we know a grand president millionaire, we'll just use the low number, does $1 million a pay cycle. $1 million a pay cycle. And they're making 20% of that. Pay cycles are weekly. Okay, what's that amount of money that person's earning? Do the math. Times 4. What's the value if someone was making $800,000 a month? What's the value of? Do you think the value of this opportunity is a single pack? Do you think the opportunity now is worth maximum $3,400? I want you guys to think now, $3,400, because here's what I want you to look at. Okay, and Lisa did this. If someone started and they bought the highest package, that's $3,408. You know what that is? That's the platinum pack. That's the top Biozen, and that is your loyalty and rewards, because you're going to add that to it. That's $3,408. Just to show you, do you know you would need? Do you know you would need? Okay. All right, guys, you guys are going through. You guys are giving me semantics. You guys are in the weeds with some of the stuff I'm saying. Okay, I want you to understand okay, let's say they're making whatever they're making a week. Is the value? Here's my point. If someone could become a grand president millionaire, do you think the value of this opportunity is $3,400? Okay, I'm just want you guys to understand something, and this may bring it home for you. Do you know if people spent this, do you know the points associated with that is 1350? That's the points you're able to count. And do you know you would need to get to diamond, okay, 15 packages in your entire organization, 15. Okay, in order to somebody to get to diamond. If someone wanted to get to the next level, which is 30,000, that person would need 23 packages in your entire organization. To get to president, someone would need in their entire organization 37 packages. Yeah, I'm just going to make this go home. The next one will be 74 packages. And if somebody wanted to get to the top level, okay, which is presidential millionaire, not grand president, presidential millionaire, 185 packages at the top level, okay? Now, in your entire organization, down both legs, okay? Now, just to put it in perspective, if somebody just bought a single pack, because I'm just telling you guys, we have a lot of people buying single packs with the loyalty. Okay, do you know that would cost a person $378? Okay, and the points associated with that would be 150. Just to put it in perspective, because I could go down all different avenues of it. Okay, do you know you would need to get to diamond instead of 15 packages, you need 133 packages. Instead of 15. You need 133 people instead of 15 people. Just math. If I want to get from here to New York, if I'm going 20 miles an hour, it's going to take me a month. But if I'm going 100 miles an hour, I'm going to get there much faster. This is all I'm trying to relay to everybody today. Okay? Do you know to get to president, instead of 37 packages, I would need 333 packages instead of 37. And to get to the top, instead of 185 packages, I would need 1,666 packages. Now, watch this. That's what somebody just buying a single pack and loyalty. Now watch what would happen if you still sold the single pack, you still sold the loyalty, but you just added the BioZen. You just added 500, right, points, which is 1350. So in other words, you're adding the 1350 of BioZen just to the single pack because you're getting 500 more points. So instead of 133 people, you would need, at that point, only 30 people. Just by adding the BioZen. So I'm still saying you're still selling the single pack, which I'm not recommending. Okay? And then in order to go out there and build, instead of 1,666, you need 384 people if you just added the BioZen. Here's my point. I want you guys to know your comp. I want you to know the points. And I want you to understand not to be afraid to tell people what they need to do. Because here's another big thing I think we're all missing. And this was the philosophy that we grew up in network marketing. Now, understand, there's good and bad to this other philosophy, But I think we need a little bit of this philosophy. You know what that's called? It's called fear of loss. A lot of us aren't creating fear of loss. In the beginning, fear of loss is greater than desire to gain. Believe me. And so I always use this analogy. Why are people vested in whatever business they have? Do you really think it's because of the dreams and aspirations that they have if that business becomes successful? Do you really think that's what it is? I don't think so. You know what I think it is? I think it's the skin in the game that's motivating that person to go to the restaurant every day at 6 a.m. and leave at 11 a.m., 11 p.m. Or if they have the dress shop. You know the person that just sponsored Lisa in network marketing 24 years ago, because it went Dan Mays, who sponsored Tasha, who sponsored Lisa. Do you know Tasha just recently, over the last 2 years, bought 2 dress shops in Denver? And do you know she put in hundreds of thousands of dollars? And you know she just called Lisa? Because Lisa called her about this. And she said, I'm closing the dress shops because I'm sick of being there from open to close because I can't afford to hire employees. Do you think when she opened those dress shops, she was thinking about becoming wealthy? Or do you think she was thinking about her hundreds of thousands of dollars? You've got to understand the power of people putting their skin in the game. And I want you to think about this. If we're talking, and I'm just getting your head right, we're talking $3,500. Let's just use $3,500 bucks. What business can you buy that's inventory secured for $3,500? Because we keep talking about loaning out these devices, yes, but you could sell the device. It's not the business model, of course, but if someone was really tight on cash flow and they go, oh my gosh, I got to get some of this money back, and they sold 3 devices out, that's $900 bucks cash throw back to them. So think about this. Do you really think somebody who gets involved, okay, can't sell 3 devices or 5 devices? I just want you to understand fear of loss is powerful, guys. And here's the problem here. I'll tell you, you can't create enough fear of loss. Because how many people do you know, if they put $3,500 into this, if, let's just say they did, how many of those people would be on the street if they lost it? But here's my point. How do you lose it? How do you lose it? Unless you quit, right? But I just want to show you the numbers. I want to show you the difference in numbers. If you want to get to wherever you want to get to, just take the sales volume, divide it by the volume required to hit the rank you want to hit. Real simple. But I thought this was powerful. Just by adding the bios in. Some of us aren't even presenting the bios in. It's a product that we offer. Okay, and if someone says, Jeff, where would you start? Let me ask you a question. If someone sat down and you go, so where would you start? What would you say? Be honest with yourself. It'll probably be wherever you started or less. Probably be wherever you started or less, because that's your confidence level. But if someone said, Jeff, where do you think I should start? Well, that's a no-brainer. Okay, you need the premium pack. You need the bios in. And guess what else? If Fabio drops in the phone, right, and there's a 4-pack of phones, I go, you need the phones. Do you know that we had in our other company 37 different products? Guess what we said? Guess what step 1 was? Take a wild guess what step 1 was. Use all the product. So when I'm sitting down with somebody, guess what? I would sit down and get the person started. I go, okay, well, let's see, Mary, I'm not that smart, but let's look at what step 1 says. Use all. Oh, okay. Well, Mary, all the product is right here. It's a minimum $5,000 order if you want to use all the product. Well, Jeff, why would I want to use all the product? Because look at Mary, because step 1 says use all. This is how dumb I was. See, step one, Mary says use also. You need all the product. It was a matter of fact. And then we allow people to buy 8 of those packages. The whole idea was 8 times 5 is what, 40,000? You guys follow me? You guys.
Not my boy's straight laced.
How did that happen?
Right.
8 times 5 is 40,000. Remember, someone could start for 40. They bought 8 packages of all the product. Why? Because the first business plan was to get 8 people started. Get 8 people started quickly, and then you could take the product and wholesale it to recoup your cash. But the person had $40,000. So what was the fear of loss? I got to move this product. What's the difference here? What's the difference? It's the same thing, right? So the whole mentality was the person would never quit if he has his skin in the game, right? Well, it's the same thing that motivates most people that buy a business. It's not the dreams of becoming financially independent. It's what do I have in this game that I can't afford to lose? And I'm just telling everybody here, and I'm just gonna tell everybody, most of you have had enough people enter into your organization to achieve your desired ranks. There's the good news. Everybody on this call, most of you have the amount of people that you needed to achieve your desired ranks. You just didn't get enough volume from them because maybe we weren't sold on why people need to start at a higher level. Now, do they have to start at a higher level? Of course not. I'm just getting you guys, I'm talking to you as business people, right? Real simple. Once again, if I want to get from point A to point B, if I go faster, I'm going to get there faster. Or I could go slow. Well, look at, I need 1,600 people versus 300 people doing the same thing. But more importantly, I believe I set that person up for success. Why? Because they have all the products. That's why. Now, if you're sitting here listening to me going, well, I just don't, that's where you are. I get it. I'm not trying. I'm just trying for the right people to hear the message. Okay? And that doesn't mean I think it just needs to be presented. And I know because I ask questions. I did a 3-way call yesterday, and I never mentioned with who. Okay? I did a 3-way call yesterday. I go, let me ask you a question. Did you know we even have BioZen yet? He goes, no, what's BioZen? And I said, who's your sponsor? They said, so-and-so. So-and-so didn't even mention we have BioZen. He goes, oh my gosh, BioZen? That sounds like, who doesn't need, he's telling me. And so by the time I hung up the phone, he goes, how do I get it? And what's the biggest package I could get? 38 free. Goes, done. Are you key? He goes, I can move that tomorrow. Didn't even know about it. This is what got us thinking. Not to mention, right, at the end of the close, you know what we do? We evaluate. And this is another thing I want you all to do. Grade yourself. Grade yourself. The week cycle ended. It happened to be a 2-week cycle this time. Grade yourself. How many people did you personally bring in? What was the average of the package? What did your group bring in? And we did the average. You know what? Wasn't happy with the average amount per deal. Wasn't. And I'm thinking to myself, if we just added BioZen, do you know we would be we would be presidential millionaires? If half of what happened in our organization the last 2 weeks, half bought BioZen, we would be presidential millionaires. Now that one went, uh-oh, here we go. No problem, not to get mad, make a correction. It's all little bump in the road, okay? And I look at it, okay, well that cost us X. Well, let's tell everybody, okay, but I want you to do the same thing. That's amazing, right? See, you see what 500 points does times 100? An extra 500 points for every single person you bring in. So I just want people to do this, guys. Start and show the package. $19.99. You need the bios in, and of course you're going to get on loyalty. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to structure your company. You watch what people will do. You'll be absolutely amazed. And I'm not encouraging this, but I want you to understand why I do what I do. How many times you've seen my presentation? What we did is we put my daughter Jenna left, my daughter Jessica right. Because I really believe if someone wants to structure their company, that is the right advice. And I always say, if you're going to build it, if you're just going to go out there and structure 3 companies and you do nothing, well, then there's no value. Well, there's no value in anything if you do nothing. Okay, buy a lottery ticket if you want to do that. Buy a lottery ticket for you and one for your daughters. Okay, same thing. Same thing, but here's what we want. We want people to go, okay, you know what? This is real. And I'm telling you, if someone puts $319 and buys a device, do you think they really believe and they wake up every day going, I got to make this business work? Do you really think that? No, they go, oh, if it works, it works. I got my device. This is cool. But if they had at least $3,000, maybe there's a little spark. I still question even that. Everybody's fear of loss is different. But I don't think people wake up going, oh, I got to make this work. Oh, I'm not going to eat tonight if I don't bring somebody in. But see, people did think that way. And I'm not saying that it was the best thing if people had $40,000 in the game. Now you can't put $40,000 here, so don't worry about it. But I can put $3,400 in. Am I making sense? I'm telling you, it does. It is a driver. Because in the beginning, guys, I say it again, fear of loss is greater than desire to gain. Always. Less people doing more. It's a real business, skin in the game. Okay? And more importantly, I believe everybody needs, right, all the products. So I thought this right here, guys, if you went ahead, let's just say you did sell one. I don't think anybody should. I'm just getting you to think. If everybody just sold one and the loyalty and just added the bios in, look how your numbers decrease. But look at here. If you just had 15 total people, I love this one the best. 185 total people buying the top package, presidential millionaire, 185. Some of you have that right now in the business. But more importantly, what you do, other people will do. Duplication. Confidence level of at least presenting it. And being firm about it. This is what I would do if I were you. Okay? You need to buy this. You need the bios in. You need to get on loyalty. Matter of fact, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. You got somebody that's going to at least get the bios in. Well, you just increased your numbers by $500 per deal just by adding bios in that most people are not doing. Okay, because you could see the orders. So that's why we want to talk about, guys, today. Remember, there's a mindset to this whole thing. Okay, you're going to run your business the way you want to run your business. But I will tell you right now, okay, if I'm setting somebody up for business, I really believe, okay, that those top packages with the bios in, and I have no problem. Now, here's the other thing. I have no problem having somebody stroke a check for $3,500. Let me tell you why. What do they get for that $3,500? Do you think they just get the product? What's it worth to be part of an environment of success? What's that worth? What's ongoing training worth? What's personal development worth? Do you think they're just buying the product for that $3,500? Look at the system they're part of. See, there's a value there too, right? I told you this yesterday. You know, some people will spend $5,000 a month for just his personal coach. Okay, but they're getting the product. See, to me, the $3,400 is worth, that's one time. But we're here every day. Think about that value. You see now, okay, it really has much more value than that. So make sure when you sit down with people, remember that globe. Understand what they're getting for their $3,400. They're getting an opportunity to own their own business, and I'll shut up, I promise. They're given an opportunity to change their immediate income situation. They're given an opportunity to be paid what they're worth. They're given an opportunity to have residual income. And they're given an opportunity to be around a group of people that are like-minded, that will sit, teach, train, and develop them. All that for $3,500? And, oh yeah, by the way, you get the product. See, that's how I would do it. Oh yeah, by the way, you get the product. You know, people sell packages like that, right? Let me tell you what you're going to get as a personal coach. I'm going to wake you up every day. I'm going to give you a wake-up call. Hey, Mary, come on, get up, honey. Come on, let's go to breakfast. Come on. Breakfast is the most important meal. Come on, you got to eat breakfast, Mary. People spend $5,000 for that. Come on, we got to exercise. Now, I'm laughing, but people spend that money. Why? Someone gave the value of what that means for their development. Here, I could buy a business. I get everything there, and I get the personal development. Okay, now see if you don't increase your SV now, when you really understand the value. McDonald's doesn't talk about to the franchise owners. Listen, let me tell you why you're buying a franchise. Because everybody loves the taste of McDonald's hamburgers. And that's not part of their initiation when someone buys a franchise. You know what they talk about? You bought the system. You bought the system. You bought our years of experience to show you how to run a successful McDonald's. They're not talking about the ingredients of the filet of fish. Believe me at that. They're talking about that you bought a system. Okay, now, hang on. $3,500 for life freedom. Can't match that. Okay, good. That's it. You got it, Jan. That's it. Return on investment. Where else? See, she put $3,500 for life freedom. Can't match that ROI anywhere else. And she's right. What's my value? Let me ask you this. You're the sponsor. What's your value to that person? Is it worth $3,500 for life? See, that's multi-level. This is not recruiting $3,500 going next. I'll never talk to that person again. That's called car sales. Another person, $3,500 next. No. What are we doing when someone really wants to build? Are we not married to those people? We're linking arms. Is that worth $3,500? And by the way, you get the product? These are the things, guys, I want you to think about. So with that, guys, it is 53. This has been recorded. Let's see if we can't, like I said, just look at the numbers. Okay, understand it, and I will tell you, just this little tweak, and it really is a little tweak. You watch how many people hit whatever ranking they want to hit, because you're all doing the work. A lot of you are running numbers. We're just not getting people, I believe, the right direction in a lot of cases. I don't want to make a blanket statement, but in a lot of cases, just check yourself. All you got to do is check yourself. Yeah, you know what? That one, I love when people say this, you were talking to me. If the message, if the message resonated with you, then I was talking to you. But at least present what we have. That's all I'm saying. Guys, thank you so much. We're available all day for all of you. This has been recorded. And Jenny, I hope you enjoy your breakfast. Thanks, you guys. Okay.